Now, that's the same moral blackmail that this guy's doing.
We have a duty to take responsibility for what we say and do. If we hire awful people, we're responsible for that. I have some experience there, as you might suspect.
By the way, this is the same tactic as the left, that anybody that you associate with, anybody you interview, and anyone that you don't publicly denounce, you are therefore toxified by and supporting. This is a leftist tactic. It's so annoying. And all of these people try to do it, even these fake conservatives in the media. And this guy is like the arch fake conservative of all time. This is like the Pope of fake conservatism right here.
That means that if we offer a guest for your viewing, we owe it to you to ask the kinds of questions that actually get at the truth. If we agree with the guest, that's fine, but we should own it.
Okay. What about questions relating to criticism of Israel, Ben? Is that allowed, or is that part of the truth, or is that's all just pure hate and anti-Semit, you know what, even though Arab peoples are also Semitic peoples? So it makes no sense, but it does have to make sense.
So, for example, if you host a Hitler apologist, Nazi-loving, anti-American piece of refuse like Nick Fuentes,
you notice, by the way, none of these people will actually have a debate with any person that they oppose. None of them will actually debate these people. Ben Shapiro has billed himself as this amazing debater, this great debater of our age. Why will Ben Shapiro not debate any person that could be a significant challenge to him? It's all low-hanging fruit. Yeah, roots of heterodoxy, exactly.
You know, the Nick Fuentes who said that the Vice President of the United States is a, quote, fat gay race traitor married to a Jeet. The person who said that Charlie...
Like, reading this stuff out is actually kind of funny, though. Let's hear it.
You know, the Nick Fuentes who said that the Vice President of the United States is a, quote, fat gay race traitor married to a Jeet. The person who said that Charlie Kirk was a, quote, retarded idiot. The person who said, and pardon my language here, it's his quote, that he, quote, took Turning Point USA and f***ed it, and that's why it's filled with groypers. If you have that person on your show and you proceed to glaze him, you ought to own it.
So again, relating to Tucker, these are jabs at Tucker. I don't know if Ben gave the speech first before Tucker, or if Tucker was before Ben, but we're going to get to that one in a moment.
There is a reason that Charlie Kirk despised Nick Fuentes, and indeed even chided Dinesh D'Souza for debating him. He knew that Nick Fuentes is an evil troll, and that building him up is an act of moral imbecility. And that is precisely what Tucker Carlson did. He built Nick Fuentes.
I mean, to even be having to address these people's challenges is a sign that these people are worried, because, you know, Fuentes trolled TPUSA and Ben Shapiro for years, and they just ignored Nick and Nick's critiques and challenges. And that now they're having to address these things, regardless of what we think of Nick or what we think of Candace or what you think of Tucker, that they're having to give these speeches addressing this. And it's all just piety signaling and moral blackmail is itself a sign, I think, of panic.
And he ought to take responsibility for that, just as he ought to take...
Again, and the reason is that because Netanyahu said they're fighting an 8-9 front war, and Twitter is the battleground, the internet's the battleground. That's why my feed in the For You is all evangelical Zio slop, because it's being paid for. And all of these idiot shills who are all a bunch of heretics, like Mike Swinger. Look at Mike Swinger. Ben Shapiro was right. This is the same guy who has thrice turned down, or 2 or 3 times turned down a debate. I've offered 2 or 3 times to debate him. No, he will not. And he is just the same as all of the other evangelical fraud slop people that make up the entirety of the For You. All of my For You is just that stuff, nonstop. So it's basically useless. I cannot even look at the For You because it is all of this propaganda. And you guys remember, what was it, a few weeks ago, I offered all of these evangelical Zionist pastors, I went one by one DMing them publicly and privately, asking them to debate. Christian Prince is proud of you. Of what? Christian Prince is another lunatic, idiot cult leader. Didn't even know who Athanasius was. So none of the evangelical Zio pastors would even come to debate. They're not able to debate. It's all paid for propaganda.
Responsibility for glazing pornographer and alleged sex trafficker Andrew Tate, or for mainstreaming fake historian and pseudo-Nazi apologist Daryl Cooper as America's best and most honest popular historian. Hosts are indeed responsible for the guests they choose and the
Now, I don't agree with the support of the Tate stuff, so I would agree with Ben Shapiro on this point. However, to again say that everyone's positions are bad because they associate with or have interviewed this or that person is a leftist, dirty, slimy tactic. Guess what? This is media. Everyone in media interacts with and goes on the shows of all the other media people, and to try to turn that into a you must denounce these people or else you are morally complicit. And it's just a slimy, ridiculous expectation in media for. And when I went on Lord Voldemort's show, we had a media person do this to me, who was somewhat prominent, who were friends of ours, and this person said, "You are trash if you dare go on a Lord Voldemort show." And I'm like, it's media. That'd be like if you were a band saying, we hate Metallica, and so if you open for Metallica, you're evil and you're trash. Okay, well, it's media. Like, it's a job, dude. That's how media works. You get offered spots and jobs by going on shows. And to turn that into some gay weaponized thing, like, if you go on this person's show, I won't like you anymore. This isn't high school. It's the adult world.
questions they ask those guests. Fourth, because we have a duty to truth, we also have a duty to provide you with evidence of the claims that we make. Emotive accusations, conspiracy theories, and just guessing questions, that's lazy and stupid and misleading.
Well, it may be lazy. It is not necessarily lazy. So again, this is all trading on ambiguities. It could be. I mean, if Candace runs with something without sufficient evidence, that could be lazy and that could be hasty. But the blanket thing of like anyone doing this, in other words, if you dare doubt America's pro-Israeli foreign policy, you are therefore part of Qatar. You are therefore part of, I mean, people were questioning this before anybody even knew about some Qatar lobby. This has existed for decades. This exists all the way back to Father Coughlin, the Roman Catholic priest, to Charles Lindbergh. Those were the original America First people. So this idea that this is all some recent Qatari, this is retarded. There were leftists who got fired and were run out of media, like what was that Arab woman? What was her name? Helen Thomas or whatever. She was fired and run out of mainstream media for questioning Israel. The CNN guy, what was his name? Rick Sanchez. Mel Gibson, run out of Hollywood for criticizing media and other issues, right? So this idea that, oh, the Qataris are, no, people are figuring out that America doesn't want to support and fight Israel's wars, and it's a double standard, and we don't benefit from it. and they use sexpionage and compromise our leaders and our people via Epstein, and everybody knows it now. And then they say you should take all the Muslims. No, this is just ridiculous hypocrisy. And people have figured that out now. You can't stop people from waking up to that. And nobody cares about being called racist anymore. No one cares. They don't. People don't give an F anymore.
None of them are a substitute for truth. None of them are a substitute for evidence. So, when Candace Owens says, I don't know, but I know, that is retarded. And we are all more retarded for having heard it.
Well, I would imagine that we could probably find all kinds of things that Ben Shapiro has theories on that he doesn't know. No. So, I mean, was there a conspiracy on the part of Tiny Mustache Man to eradicate Israeli people or your people group, Ben? Was that a conspiracy, or is that, I mean, like, where's the line between real conspiracies and retarded conspiracies? Because if you remember, Ben supported all the establishment positions until it became unpopular post Koof, and then flipped and was critical of that. Just like he was a never Trumper, and then flips. He's ends up, oh no, yeah, I'm MAGA, MAGA, we're MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. You're not MAGA. No, I don't even care about MAGA. But I'm just saying, like, all these people flip flop and then act like they were always the face of conservatism. No, you were a neocon libertarian, and you've never debated anybody above a 20 IQ, purple haired college freak.
When Steve Bannon, for example, accuses his foreign policy opponents of loyalty to a foreign country, he's not actually making an argument based in evidence. He's simply maligning people that he disagrees with, which is indeed par for the course from a...
Oh, now Bannon's bad. Uh-oh. Who's been this pro-Israeli person for all this time, and now he's beginning to budge away from unfettering support of Israel. And so now Shapiro has to see, they wouldn't even be calling all this out if they weren't freaking out and realizing that people are tired of the double standard and nobody wants to just fight wars for Israel.
Man who was once a PR flack for Jeffrey Epstein. Check the record.
Okay, but Ben, who was Jeffrey Epstein compromising people for, according to some of the Israeli heads of intelligence? Oh, Israel.
Our duty to provide you evidence means we actually have to do much more than just ask questions. Just asking questions is something my 5-year-old does, and it's really cute when it comes from my 5-year-old. But when grown men and women spend their days just asking questions without, seeking answers, they are lying to you. In fact, they're doing something...
First of all, everybody who asks these questions, for the most part, is seeking answers. So I don't know where he gets this idea that they're not actually seeking answers, they're just asking questions. Well, even by your own line of argumentation, if they're bad faith in asking the questions, they're implying what the answers are. So that's not even true according to your critique.
Even worse, they are seeding distrust in the world around you, and they are enervating you in the process. So, for example, if many speakers, including Tucker Carlson and others, get on stage here at TPUSA and claim, without proper evidence, that Jeffrey Epstein was running a Mossad rape ring being covered up by the Trump administration, they are not actually uncovering a conspiracy or effectuating a solution.
What about all of the meetings with Ehud Barak at Jeffrey Epstein's place? What about Whitney Webb's Volume 2, which covers all of this? What about the Israeli intelligence heads that say that it was all about that? So it's almost like all the evidence points in that direction. He knows that there's evidence for that. But if you talk about that, you're just a malicious, bad faith person who doesn't really care about the answers. No, people are not buying your bull crap anymore, dude. How many times did Jeffrey and Ehud Barak meet? 36. But according to Ben Shapiro, that is irrelevant. Doesn't matter, means nothing. According to Ben Shapiro, there is no sexual compromise. That doesn't exist. It's not a thing. It's all made up. Everybody is a conspiracy theorist who questions known liars. Imagine pushing the normie slop narrative in 2025.
They are claiming a special provenance to information they won't let you see, which builds their power and leaves you with none. They are also implicating.
All of this information is public. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, information that they won't let you see. Like, what are you even talking about? I mean, is this hidden information that nobody wants to let you see? Let's see if we can find that clip with
head of military intelligence. At some point, head of military intelligence in Israel, and he apparently was very friendly with Epstein, and he probably would have known about it.
The problem, Ari, with your accusations and allegations are that you're not providing any evidence that Israel was part of running Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, again, Maxwell was working for Israel. Epstein was working for Maxwell at the time, and he was introduced to Maxwell's daughter, and they were introduced to Israeli intelligence.
Duh. Like, this is not hard to figure out, and all of this is in the open.
In their speculation, actual human beings, good human beings, like Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi.
Okay, yeah. All the good human beings that support everybody being interchangeable economic units, right? A la Sam Hyde Show episodes 1 and 2.
And yes, the President of the United States, even if they're too cowardly to say President Trump's name. And that means you won't trust those good people in the future. You haven't gotten smarter, you've just been manipulated. When forced to demonstrate their evidence, these same people will often refuse to provide it. They'll claim ignorance. They'll pretend they're outside the system. And they don't have access to actual information. You know, they're just asking questions.
I mean, I just gave you Ari Ben Menashe, and he detailed the history of Robert Maxwell as a known Mossad operative. So, I mean, that doesn't matter. That's all made up. That's not evidence.
But many of these same people have direct pipelines to informational sources. So, for example, if Tucker wants answers to his questions about, say, Jeffrey Epstein, he could call the Vice President of the United States. He's quite close with him. But he won't, because that might undermine the empty speculation. None of this means...
Why would calling J.D. Vance do anything about the Epstein information? That would assume that J.D. Vance... We don't even know that J.D. Vance has seen this material. Like, what? I don't understand that logic.
There aren't actual real conspiracies in the world. Of course there are.
Oh, really? Like what?
But actual conspiracies require actual evidence.
Well, I agree with that, but the idea that there is no evidence around Epstein is absurd, especially if you read Volume 2 of Whitney Webb's book.
Yes, there was a Russiagate conspiracy, and we know the names of the people involved and what they did. We know...
Oh, okay. So the only things that's allowed to be a conspiracy are the things that Ben Shapiro has approved years late after the fact, after everybody else already figured out it was a conspiracy.
Hillary Clinton and Fusion GPS and James Comey and Loretta Lynch and Adam Schiff. We know all of those people. Yes, there was a COVID-19 conspiracy. We know.
Oh, you mean when you pushed all the normie stabby narrative? That one? And then you flipped after everybody figured out it was fake and gay? And you suddenly became, oh, yes, champion of... These people are so fake, dude.
That Anthony Fauci worked to shut down alternative solutions from people like Jay Bhattacharya. But when people posit a conspiracy and then provide you no evidence, they are doing you a fundamental disservice, and they are making you stupider in the process. Finally, because it is our job to make the lives of our audience better, right? That's really our job, is to give you more information to make your lives better. We have a duty to propose solutions. That's why we have to talk about our problems in order to find the solutions. That's what politics was supposed to be about, after all. Finding.
This was what he said. I heard the clip today on Lord Voldemort because I did the 4th hour, and he mentioned that Alex and the conspiracy people never have solutions. That's absolutely insane. Alex is the one who, especially 2016-17, with the biggest audience out there, actually helped get. He was sort of the spearhead of Trump getting elected. So this idea that Alex didn't take action, even if you dislike Trump, I'm just pointing out that Ben Shapiro's claim against Alex is absurd. It's just patently false that Alex isn't a black pill person. I'm more black pilled than Alex is, and I'm not totally black pilled. I'm just saying I'm more black pilled than Alex is. But that Alex Jones and conspiracy people in his audience are black pilled is retarded. That's just not even true. I mean, Alex was like at the forefront of getting Trump elected.
Solutions to our common problems. If we speak endlessly,
and this guy was a never Trumper, so what do you mean?
About the problems we face, without ever positing a solution other than wrecking the system or centralizing power in a cult-like figure, we are not finding solutions. We are merely making problems worse. Just asking questions, positing vague conspiracies, raving like Alex Jones about the secret confederacies that control your life, none of it makes your life better. None of it.
Well, if the conspiracies are about Israeli control of our foreign policy, etc., then that might be a threat to what Ben represents. So that might be an issue. That might be why Ben doesn't want you to talk about those types of conspiracies.
In fact, it makes your life markedly worse. That's because if you truly come to believe that nothing in your life is in your control, you can't even take control of your own life. You despair of your ability to change your own circumstances, and then you fail. And you must not fail.
This part is actually true. Not that I agree with what he said about Alex, because Alex doesn't say that you don't control anything in your life. Alex says the opposite of it. So this was Ben Shapiro being very just totally slimy and dishonest with what Alex Jones's positions are.
Because here is the most fundamental.
Look at all these idiot boomers in his audience. That's his audience, is these boomers. Look at these people, like no clue at all, like how the world works, what's happening. Just blue boomers, sad blue boomers in the audience cheering on their fake con Inc. mouthpiece.
The truth of all in the United States, for all of its problems. Many of which, a huge...
And by the way, this is the guy who just hired Matt Fradd, the Cath Inc. faker.
Number of which are real and serious. The United States is still the greatest country in the history of planet Earth.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with Zionism and Israel first and all of your fake conservative gibberish. That's actually funny. Yeah, like the blue-pilled boomers in the audience are portrayed in the color blue. That's actually pretty funny.
We have the greatest constitution ever devised by man. We have the greatest founding philosophy ever put to paper in the Declaration of Independence. In this country, you can make of yourself what you will. And if there are true obstacles standing in your way, we can all work together to remove them. That, by the way, is the essence of conservatism, that we live in a world created by God with a logic and a rationale, that we as human beings were created in God's image, as it says in the book of Genesis, with creative capacity and the power to choose, and that in a free country of limited government and defined powers, with property rights and equality under law, our destiny is in our hands, and that we all...
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that in Talmudic law, that's not there is no equality under Talmudic law. So I'm not sure what, I mean, does Ben Shapiro have a dual ethic, an ethic for public face and then an ethic that's a private ethic? Interesting.
Have a duty to make the most of that historic opportunity. Anyone who tries to convince you otherwise is lying to you, and they are making your life worse in the process. Now, that lie may feel good in the moment. It may...
All right, I've had enough of this. We're going to stop there. We've done most of it. Let's move over here to